Sunday I was supermaning my mini bike like this, and now I'm all busted up and
Now you have it in your raccoon wounds.
yeah, and my leg. My goodness.
There's a lot of events coming up.
There's a lot of things.
If any of you guys are going out to Texas, let me know that you'll be out there. I'll try and.
I've seen a lot of people. I'm starting to see the loaded up, headed to TX2K.
Yeah.
So. Trackhawk.
1.8 on the street.
Yeah, it's Grant's Trackhawk.
Yeah.
I feel like I could maybe beat that.
Yeah.
I feel like that, but that's a whole lot of weight to move, though.
I went out on the street tires on the truck, and I knew it was going to be bad. I just didn't think it was going to be that bad.
Yeah.
About half. I imagine that since the music stuff is broadcast through the PC, that it's not just a YouTube thing, the YouTube and Facebook is affected by it.
How about now?
Can you hear us?
Mic check 1 2.
Is that working, everybody?
Mic check.
Anyway, whoa, what happened?
And it's gone.
And it's gone. It's
And
all
it's
gone.
back.
And we're back.
Sure, might as well dance.
Just dance.
They said never felt so hyped for Tuning Tuesday. Needs more cowbell.
Yeah, I see Stu on there.
All right, we got anything? Come at us, peoples.
We're getting thumbs up. Seems to be working.
Yay.
Okay. So should we restart all that?
The Draggy. Did anybody hear everything about the Draggy? They're amazing.
Did anybody hear about the Draggy? Can't hear them enough.
Can't hear them though.
Okay.
What? Oh, I give up. Much
Turn the
better. It
volume
just
up
needs
on
to
the
turn their
tester.
volume up.
I can turn the volume up over there.
Don't hear that though.
No, nothing.
piece of candy.
Throw my draggy.
Stop throwing the draggy, Joe.
My fidget spinner now.
Oh, that's an expensive fidget spinner.
Exactly. Not as expensive as the one oh, you weren't in that group chat.
For what?
I sent a fidget spinner I saw at Fairvilla in the group chat.
Jesus. So, are we up? Are we working now? Better? Someone said, Steve Martinez says better.
Better, and then Boss Man 12 says I can barely hear them. Better? Okay.
We have two betters.
Okay, so I'll rehash this just in case you guys didn't hear. This is a draggy. It's awesome. We started our own little spreadsheet.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with these things with our daily drivers at VMP. We have like this little
We have a spreadsheet with our fastest
spreadsheet,
times.
Facebook page with our daily drivers. It's got to be daily driver on the street.
Yep.
And we've been having a lot. Joe, not as loud. Joe, is yours? What is going on here?
Joe, what mic number do you have?
I have 1A.
You have 1A?
I have 2A.
Yep.
I am number 2.
That's right.
I'm the brown that gets flushed down. The Joey can't hear.
The Joe.
Let's see if I can turn it up on here.
Yeah, see if you got little volumes, right?
Backlight mode. I am channel 2, 556.920 megahertz.
I don't know.
I can't see the volume button.
I don't know, but if they can hear you, they do.
Alright, so
Because that's the problem, switch it out and get Mac.
So they can hear me.
Mic pack with a 2 on it.
They said they can hear me, they can't hear Joe.
is that no problem? Switch it out for the mic pack with a 2 on it. I'm down. So just disconnect this one.
Bye, Joe.
I go back. I'm gonna go change my mic pack.
Would you like to borrow mine, Joe?
Oh, you can talk louder than I do.
Yeah, so if we trade, we'll be even.
Exactly.
Trying to figure out if there's screws or pulls.
Maybe there's a screw lock and there's holes. No, it's just holes. That's screw and holes.
It's the internet. I blame the internet.
Definitely.
Wait, that's what happened. We didn't pay the mic bill.
Matt, distract him.
Distract him? With what? What if so the screen's on here, what if I turn the laptop around and then it's like a time paradox? Oh. Barely hear Joe. 121 gigawatts of power.
1.21 gigawatts.
Interesting.
What?
I was just reading everything.
Oh, okay.
All right, how about now?
Yeah, how about now, guys?
How about now? Can you hear Joe? He's putting his mic on. Can you hear Joe? We should just pass the tiny mic around, they say.
Yeah.
Everybody's left. They hate us all.
And they're gone.
Everything good to go now. He went to go get boost for his mic.
Yeah.
We had to go install the Gen 3. We had to go put a Gen 3R on the mic pack and
Right.
port the mic.
Yeah, I
So-
can hear Joe.
Yay!
Alright, sick. So,
One more time. With feeling. From the top. Action.
Draggies, 145 to 150. I can't remember because I'm a bad person. They're awesome. It connects to an app on your phone. You can do.
It is
rad stuff on the
incredibly, incredibly accurate. We have tested this
Yeah.
on a couple 8-second cars, actually,
street. Yep.
and they are within a few hundredths.
Yep.
So, I don't know how they do it, but
It's good.
it's good. They're very, very accurate. We have a lot of fun with them around here. Like I said, I'm going to
So
go
for the fastest 0 to 60 on the streets, 1.8, and that's great.
from Grant's Trackhawk, and I'm going to attempt to beat that by ripping the transfer case out of my truck.
Yep. Your 300,000 mile truck. It's gonna be so good.
330,000 miles. Thank
I
you.
didn't mean to sell you short.
That second gear leave on 25 pounds.
It's gonna be good. But we're also, I'm going to Texas.
You're going-
He's going
yeah.
to Texas. Matt's going to be.
I don't know if I'm going yet. I might be going to
International,
Gators. I want to go to Gators. I've
You need
missed
to go to
Gators
Gators.
several times. I want to go see big boys.
Those cars are crazy.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's been a long, long, long time since I've made. Well, they used to have it on the same weekend as NMRA, so I never made it because I always had to choose.
Yep.
Then they finally staggered them, and now I am happy as could be. But then, like 1 year I had knee surgery, and then 1 year I was moving, and just so I've always managed to miss it.
You're bad.
I'm gonna
You should
try.
feel bad.
I'm gonna try and go today.
We have built for speed. Hey, just a follow-up question to my build Gen 2 Coyote that's going to be 12-to-1 compression ratio. Will it be possible to run it on 91 with boosting in worst case and or E55, E65? So
Yes.
just cruising around town, par throttle cruise, you can do
Yeah.
91 and boosting.
You'll
that
be
shouldn't
fine.
An issue.
You'll be fine.
Depending on what you're pulleyed for, I don't know that I'd do that under actual boost.
Or if you do very low boost.
Bossman 12 Boss,
Yeah.
I don't know if he answered it because I couldn't hear anything, but ask again. If I have to tune my car, if I take the baffles out of my Boss 302 side pipes,
No.
you're fine.
You do not. You're fine.
Robert Whedon, looking forward to seeing everyone at TX2K Racing. Seems to be a good lineup.
Is that Mike's friend?
Yeah.
Mike's brother?
Yeah, Mike's brother-in-law. Oh, Mike. I'm going to go back to the questions page and get off the YouTube. There we go.
Do you need that document for me?
No, I got it. Voice never felt so hyped. Needs more cowbell. Always needs more cowbell. Any thoughts? I had new clutches and intermediate shaft installed in my 680. Do you change anything in the tune over stock transmission tuned by VMP? Thanks for the time.
Generally, no.
But
You,
if we're calibrating around an issue that a trans had
Yes.
before and now it no longer has that issue, then
you know, if the clearances are similar to stock, then your slip times and all that generally stay the same. I will say that it would behoove you to, already got fingered reference there. You would want to reset the adaptives and do a trans relearn procedure.
especially for the new, if you change the solenoids or you change to a different transmission
Yep.
altogether when you had it built.
And you have to have the
solenoid
valve
body ID.
Yep, and you have to have that programmed as well.
Yep.
But from a tuning point of view, generally speaking, no.
Yeah.
It should work reasonably well.
And whoever you've been dealing with here for tuning, because there's 4 of us right now, reach out to whoever you've been dealing with as a response to the ticket and just confirm that they don't think we're going to need to change anything for your trans, because I don't know if anything was going on with your trans before you had
Right.
it built, but that's my answer and I'm sticking to it.
No, you're right. Like, if you have one that was, for example, it was slipping excessively, so we added a bunch of pressure, now all of a sudden it's gonna shift real hard, because the clutches are actually there,
Yep.
and you need it back down some, things like that. So, other than that, I assume we're gonna be slow on questions because we were broken the first half of the show.
It's possible. It is certainly possible. Let's see.
Yay!
It seems like it's decently busy.
Oh, we'll get going.
So,
I got-
what bolt-ons does it take to get a 1314 GT500 in the 9s?
All of them.
Yeah, at least a decent amount. I'd say E85, 2.4 upper pulley,
Yep,
uh,
clutch, long tubes,
clutch long tubes, a hell of a driver,
drive shaft,
tire.
tire.
I don't consider 1314s to need a drive shaft. And I say that only because I know of one that makes 1300 wheel, the stock one.
Frederick Massey, hey Matt, you were doing my tune. Oh yeah, this is F1A 4-valve swap. Should I switch the plugs or the wiring? What I think is going on, I think you have them crossed. So you're going to physically unplug the O2 sensors, attracting a ton of fuel.
The O2 voltage.
Yes, the
not
O2,
hearing
yes.
that.
Well, I've got one O2 sitting at 1 volt, and I got one O2 sitting at 0 volts.
Yeah.
So that's generally what happens, and it's because it knows, or it doesn't know that it's plugged in wrong, so it says, okay, bank 1 is lean, I'm going to add some fuel on bank 1. But in reality, it's reading bank 2.
Exactly.
So now bank 1 goes richer. And then it goes, oh, wait a minute. So then it pulls some fuel out of bank, and it's a circle.
It gets into a circle.
It is in a circle. So yeah, you're going to leave the O2s threaded into the pipes, of course. You're just going to disconnect the connectors, flip the harnesses around, and plug the O2s back in. And again, I'm talking about the front ones, which are usually green, depending. So go from there.
And then Brian Geisler, what's the status on Odin S197 kit? Once we get the 18 up stuff that we have here done, we can go about testing silly stuff like that. James Slutter, would anyone at BMP be willing to do ghost cams file for 14 TVS E85 manual car? I understand the drivability will not be the best, but willing to work with the tuner, just miss it now and boosted. So ghost cam on a PD blower boosted car isn't really a good idea from the standpoint of
Vacuum.
yeah, you're going to basically induce a condition that causes the bypass valve to not work like it should, and you can actually generate pretty high IAT2s just cruising around town.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a counterproductive thing.
I suppose they could do a low vacuum bypass valve, but you're just
Then
really...
you'll be $300 into a bypass
Yeah,
valve.
exactly. You're going to be $300 into a bypass valve plus the tune. I understand you want it, or you miss it, but, man, I don't know.
Just kind of silly.
We could do it. I just don't feel it's worth the risk.
Yeah. Stu Boyce, tuning with VMP, Department of Boost Manifold, Roush 23 MT82, S550 on E85. I see knock at 3 to 7K when I start to pull at low RPM. When I start to pull at around 4K RPM, everything is clean, any insight?
Well, if it's on 85, it's probably not knocking.
Yeah.
You're lugging something and something is rattling. So I'd say you have something, exhaust more than likely, possibly suspension, possibly motor mount related where the engine's moving. But it is, I can't say impossible because someone's going to argue with me, but it is very difficult to make E85 knock. So that being said, you are getting false knock from somewhere, more than likely, and it has to do with low
How the
RPM
engine's
vibration.
loaded.
Yeah, it has to do with the engine being loaded. I would not worry about it, but you could definitely, these flies,
Yeah.
you could just put the car on a lift and start going through looking for things that, like I said, exhausts that are closed, touching. That little stud,
The stud on S550 on
the
passenger side.
stud on the passenger side messes with people a lot. On that frame rail, the header hits it, things like that.
Yep.
So start digging, you'll figure it out.
Trey Evans, Dumoran. How do you guys feel about Deutsche Works injectors? They work fine.
I've not had a problem with them.
DW95s exclusively.
Yeah.
Mess around with DW60s, 50s, 48s, 2000s.
Yeah, because, well, we've never really messed with anything smaller because there's such a good variety of OEM injectors with the 56s and the 47s. So there's really not a need for using anything smaller in a 1000 and a Ford, at least.
Yeah.
The 1200s are, meh, they're all right.
At the end of the day, it comes down to, does the injector function properly at low pulse width, and is it linear? If the answer is yes, then the hard part is getting injector data that works for them.
Yes.
A lot of the times, I'll use your word, it doesn't behoove us
Yeah.
to bust our asses getting injector data for someone else's injector data, and for someone else's injector to work, when there's plenty of other alternatives that already have good known injector data out there.
Correct.
Tony Bolton, do you install tune meth kits on supercharged cars centrifugal? We can, yeah.
That is
Frederick
not a problem.
Massey, thanks. Global Media, are your supercharger kits for LSs out yet? Not
No.
that I'm aware of, no. Brian?
You can get them through us because, of course, we are partnered up with Magnuson, so we can sell you Magnuson kits. Extra special, very good deals. But we don't have our own VMP GM kit yet, no.
Yep. And then Brian Geisler, so just wondering, S197 stuff is silly. 13 Boss 900 wheeled Pro Charger, want to change the TVS like the Odin front feet. I've heard other companies also don't want to do S197 stuff anymore. No, not that S197 stuff is silly, just trying to take a blower that's built for another platform and put it on an S197, and you guys expect us to do that quickly is what I think is silly. We already have a great working blower for rear feed S197
Yeah.
that we haven't really found a limit per se on.
No.
Becca's car's gone 790 with that
Yeah,
blower,
yeah.
off the shelf blower, and you're worried about putting Odin on Y because it's front feed. That doesn't really make a damn bit of difference from a power standpoint, at least as far as we found. I'd say the biggest advantage is the intercooler setup that we have in Odin seems to be really good.
Yeah, and I mean, one could argue that Odin has the potential, at least on paper, to make more power.
Mm-hmm.
But
that rear feed design that we have is
yeah,
awesome too, so that's why I say it's silly. Global Media Inc., can you guys speak a little louder? I can, I don't know that
yeah.
I need to. I don't want to have my voice blown out from this. 5-liter meat beater. Is it bad to have 1 degree of knock on every shift during lot on a 6 or 80 car?
No.
No? I'd say if you had 10 degrees on every shift and it was on pump gas and it was real, yeah, it's bad.
That's a pretty common thing on the automatic cars, especially when you have them shifting real firm.
Mm-hmm.
You've got slop in the clutch packs, you've got slop in the planetaries, you've got slop in the drive shaft, you've got slop in the rear end. So when you get this real firm, fast shift, things will clunk, and that noise will transfer, and the knock sensors go, oh my god, and they'll pull some timing.
Yeah, and if it's 1 degree,
that's nothing.
Care.
Yeah, that's nothing.
James Sluter, I get all that. I know of a few TBS guys that have made it work for novelty. If I got the stuff needed, I needed to try and make this work. Who should I email to discuss more? Just get in contact with sales.
Yeah, either, so the main people are going to be Steve or Paul, with Joey on backup.
Yeah.
So any of those three, or Chuck is backup. One of those four are going to get you taken care of.
Yeah. 5-liter meat beater, 1 to 2 degrees actually. I have the same opinion.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Shout out to everyone involved in doing the show. It's the reason I'm a customer. Awesome.
Yay.
Glad to hear, Stu.
Thank you.
Trey Evans, Dumoran, any good or bad experiences with the On3 Twin Turbo kit?
I have had nothing but positive experiences.
The low mount kit.
I've not used a low mount. Single kit for On3 is reasonable. I believe it comes as a T6. Definitely do the T6. When you neck it down to a T4, it's got all the back pressure in the world. Learned that one the hard way.
Joe, you're not as loud as he is, so
Okay.
that's what it is.
Okay.
Again?
Well, no, not again. It's just he's not as loud.
Oh.
I'm not as loud, guys.
There you go.
I'll talk quieter.
No, you're good.
So anyway, their twin kits are pretty damn good. I mean, that was the whole Panda Camp thing back in the day. Cy Lee I think he went 790s on an On3 kit. I mean, Anthony, who we called Durka, he went 850s with an illuminator, non-sleeved. I mean, they work quite well. I've never really had a problem with them.
Yeah, top mount stuff I've never had a real issue with.
No, I will say they are not for the faint of heart installing yourself. It's a cheap kit. It's a reason that there's a cheap kit. You're going to spend some time on it. Back when I used to install them, we charged 30 hours to install one. And I still don't think I ever made money on one. So to put it into perspective, that was a professional shop with people that do it all the time, and it still took 30 hours to install an 11 to 14 twin kit.
I'm not about that life.
So just letting you know, there's nothing wrong with the kit, but if you're installing it yourself, you're going to hate yourself for a while.
Then we have King Cobra 8625, 04 Cobra stock motor, 4-pound lower, whatever pulley for a 265 on kill E85. If you're on stock motor, I wouldn't go with anything smaller than a 3.2. I'd just say, well, even then, maybe like a 3.2, 3.3. Because the go-to pulley setup on the old 2.3 for the old fellas out there is 4-pound 3.0. And that'll get you pretty much the limit of what the stock motor will do without cams or anything like that. So I'd say like a 4-pound 3.3 or 4-pound 3.4, I guess.
Meh.
Yeah.
Frederick Massey, so back to the injectors, what's the issue with the Bosch 110s? I have another car, I think about putting the positive displacement supercharger on with the 85. God, I hate those injectors. So the two main things, there's one is a severe lack of data, especially in an EEC5 situation. where you have to scale. So when you're tuning an E5, there's mass air limits, so you have to scale injectors accordingly. So
And there's injector limits.
and there's injector limits on top of that. So you have to take good data, and then you have to like chop it. So if you have bad data, and you have to chop it, it makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
So the issue number one is a severe lack of good data on those injectors, and the biggest issue is the low pulse width fuel flow on them is absolutely terrible, especially on E85 for whatever reasons. And people like to stick them on 8.5 to 1 4 valves that technically make 160 horsepower. Yeah.
They flow half a pound a minute at idle.
Yeah. So they idle fat. They misfire at idle. They do all kinds of stuff. I don't like them at all. If you were going to put them in a 12 to 1 Coyote with a reasonably high-end processor, it would probably be okay. Or if
like
you're
a 900 RPM idle.
yeah, and if you were going to put it on a standalone, it'll probably be okay. But on a factory EEC5 or even an Oak PCM, it's not worth it. It's so much hassle.
Spend money on a decent injector and avoid the hassle.
Yeah.
Built for speed. What are the horsepower possibilities on a 13 Boss 302 NA and boosted on stock bottom end? This one is for my other build. So you're wondering how far you can take it NA and then how far you can take it boosted on a stock bottom end. Probably 450 wheel, 460 wheel NA, and boosted. I've seen them 600-700 wheel on 93. Everyone's looking at me. Why is everyone looking at me?
Because nobody can hear you, Joe.
That sucks for them.
You want to share my mic, Joe?
No.
Hold on.
And her be hot. Sorry.
He said
TG
sorry.
36, Roush 2300 80mm pulley, BMP boost pump, and made 622 horsepower and dyno. Very pleased. Thanks.
Excellent.
Awesome.
That's about right, too.
Yeah, that's actually a decent number.
Yeah, especially on a 2300.
Travis Shot. I test drove an 18 GT with a 10 speed, and I noticed when going to reverse to drive, it went into both those gears with a hard clunk-like feeling.
That is
Is that normal or sign of?
They all tend to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do it, but they all do it. Even
I'd say about a third of the ones I've driven have done that.
Yeah, and he's not kidding. It's a serious clunk. Like you put it in reverse and it goes, and you're like, what the? You thought you hit something. So I know he's talking about
Cobra clunk. Put it in gear, dunk.
Yeah.
The clutch isn't disengaged.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know. I don't know why they do it. I've been out of the trans game too long. I don't know.
King Cobra, thanks. 5-liter meat beater. At what power level would y'all suggest doing a fuel system on a 3rd gen Coyote on E85?
As soon as you put it on E85. No.
Not naturally aspirated.
No, not actually. Yeah, as soon as you go boosted and E85, it needs a fuel system.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple people have tried to do 400s, and it just
Does it work at like 14 pounds?
Yeah, I would say if you're running like 8 or 10 pounds, you could get away with a boost pump kind of situation. If you're actually trying to make some boost on E85, it really needs a fuel system because you have to keep pressure up to the DI. You just have to. They get really upset when they don't have pressure.
They do. Once they start doing some port injection blend, they start to get pissed off. Rob Young, S197 Illuminator, VMP Gen 2, forward turn system, E85, Twin 67, 15% lower, 75mm upper. Will the DW95 injectors I have flow enough to run a 69mm pulley?
No. Meh.
They're going to be at the limit. It depends on what type of RPM you're turning with them. If you're shifting it at 7,000, you'll probably be okay-ish. If you're shifting it at 7,500 to 8 grand, think about putting a 90-1300 in it or an FIC 1200. Global Media Inc., Hellhorse, Hellion, and Huron are all better than On3 but more expensive.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
a given.
Yeah.
By no means did I say that On3 was the highest quality kit out there. I just said that it worked really well.
Yeah.
But
at the end of the day, it's a turbo kit and piping.
Yeah, at the trade-off of not being user-friendly on the install.
Yeah.
You will absolutely, I bet you can install a Hellion kit in half the time.
Travis Shot, thanks, good to know it's normal. I thought it may have had trans tune or something else.
No, they do it.
5-liter meat beater, thanks guys.
As a matter of fact, when I was at Diablo, we picked ours up from the Ford dealership and it did it in the parking lot. Thing had like 20 miles on it and just boom, boom. All right.
Guess I won't be using those. By the way, I can hear you, Joe, with my headphones.
Yeah.
So which one was he? Losh 110s. Yeah, don't use those. You'll have a bad time. Steven Martinez, 2010 VMP, 2010 GT500 VMP Gen 3, thinking about running additional wide and
Wideband.
yeah, that looks like either his.
It went to, he forgot the B.
O2 to standalone gauge, still managing engine with stock CPU and stock O2. What would the benefits be besides air-fuel ratio monitoring? That's
Just that.
the only benefit.
Just so you could see what's going on as well.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that once your car is tuned and dialed in, in theory, you don't really need a wideband anymore at that point. If you think about it this way, Ford tuned the car with narrow bands, and they don't have wideband, they're just fine.
Yeah.
But if you want something to look at and hyperventilate about while you're going on the road, then putting a wideband in the car is a great idea.
That's true.
And if you're in the process of tuning the car, putting a wideband in the car is a good idea, at least for the monitoring aspect and for the getting it dialed in properly aspect if you're just getting a street tune. We do a lot of those.
Facts.
Wideband tune, narrowband stuff.
We do a lot of those.
Let's
Especially GM, because GM refuses to join the 21st century and put widebands in anything. Or if they do put widebands in it, you can't see them.
Yep, and it's gone.
So,
Do you all tune Justin Pollock's Pro 1 drift car or sponsor him? We tuned that car at one point in time. I don't know if we're still the ones tuning it.
I am not. I can say I am not. I have not
Yeah,
touched.
that was Justin back in the day.
He just released, and probably why this is coming out, is he just released photos of the new, I think it's kind of Gen 3, it's powered by me.
Oh, okay, so it's got one of our blowers on it then.
If it runs amazing, we tuned it. If it did not run amazing, we did not tune it.
God.
Someone else did. Right, Joe?
Finger bolt directions. Steven Martinez, it's tuned, thanks. Yeah, if it's already tuned, then I don't think you really should have to install one in it. But if you're questioning whether or not...
It's more of a monitoring thing. If you have something going on, you got a fuel pump going out, you got an injector or 4 clogged on one side, and that side happens to be where the wideband is.
Yeah.
It'll let you see if something has changed, but it's not something you have to stare at every day.
Yeah. And then
It's
global
kind
media-
of like an oil pressure gauge where it should read the same every day. But if all of a sudden something happens and it quits reading, you now know something is wrong.
Something wrong.
Right.
Global Media Inc. He still runs your supercharger. Yeah.
Yay.
That's awesome. I don't know if we're still the ones tuning the car.
I don't think so.
13th Celine, on turbo high horsepower cars, is it normal to turn off knock sensors or desensitize them? I wouldn't say that it's necessarily
It's not normal. Sometimes it is necessary.
Sometimes you have a turbo car that
Yeah.
pipe comes up and hits the frame rail and it's on E85 or race gas and the customer's like, I can't find anything hitting
Yeah.
it. I
Or
need
you
to find a solution to
Or you
this."
just have a, like you have a sleeve block with a bunch of loose clearances, pistons are rattling around inside there, you got big camshafts, big valve springs, things are clicking and clacking, and there's just so much background noise going on that you can't accurately get.
Yeah, and I mean if it's on a fuel that you have a reasonable suspicion it's never going to knock on.
Correct.
You tune it like it doesn't have knock sensors.
You remember when Hot Rod Magazine used to do the pump gas drags?
Pump gas drag? No, I don't.
You never remember that? They used to do the pump gas. God, I'm so old. They used to do the pump gas drags, where it was kind of like drag week kind of situation, but they were issued Rocket brand 93, so ethanol free 93 out of a barrel, and they had the different categories, but it was pretty much run what you brung as long as it ran on 93. And it was kind of cool because if I remember, the winner was that Lee Sanders, who had that twin turbo Viper. He's from Sarasota. He's got the silver one with the 2 blue stripes. The car was more like 790s on pump gas.
What?
If I remember right, he was just crushing it back in the day. Or maybe it was like there was a yellow car with black stripes that went fast as hell. But it made me think about that when you were saying, high horsepower turbo car. But yeah, pump gas drags, they used to do that back in the day. I want to say, Christ, maybe 10 years ago.
That sounds about right.
So, back when magazines were an actual thing. So,
I am going to the BMP Facebook page since there's no new questions on YouTube. Or no, there's one now.
what?
The supercharger was sent. You sent Jeremy a faster promise for his Caprice LS is making great power. What size or setup is that? I have no idea. That's Justin's thing, not mine. 5-liter meat beater. Don't y'all hate it when someone revs at you? When you catch up, they don't want to run like they don't want to run it. Like what was the point?
Yeah.
Agreed.
No, the inverse of that is back in my college days. I had a guy I revved at him one time, and he chased me down to race me. I'm like, damn, I admire your dedication.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lost.
He were ready. Alright, we got Chris Bauman on the Facebook side of things. Currently Roush 79 boost pump. I bought the VMP fuel kit. Can I run a 75 or 72 millimeter pulley 6 rib with no issues like belt slip or heat soak? I also have a VMP fanless triple pass on the way.
He didn't say what fuel.
Yeah, he didn't say what fuel and he didn't say what injectors are in it. I kind of need that info to answer your question. Genoa Davis. Someone told me that if you cat deletes, exhaust will smell.
Yes.
Is this true 2019 Mustang GT? I thought catalytic converters make exhaust smell. No, they make exhaust not smell. They pull.
Yeah.
They convert the hydrocarbons to other gases that don't smell like hydrocarbons.
Yeah,
so
the fuel smell, exhaust smell that makes your eyes water is hydrocarbons, and that's the cat's sole purpose, is to convert hydrocarbons into carbon dioxide and water. And NOx. Mm-hmm. So, which are all odorless. Mm-hmm. So, that'll be that.
Yeah, so if you don't want your exhaust to smell, leave cats on there.
Dalton, how do you take the axles out of an 8.8 rear end with a giant hammer?
Wait, why can't I only see some of these? This is bugging me.
Nope, they're all gone.
And they're gone.
That's because 2/3 of those people have you blocked.
Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
Make the screen wider. Expand it.
Did she just teach you how to use Facebook?
And then on the left, on the
right-hand side. Yeah, I see them now.
What?
That's so confusing that it doesn't, like you click on and it doesn't open any of them.
It took a long time for me to learn that.
Oh, bother. I got some quick knowledge then. What happened to the funny comedy that tuned the cars? I don't know what you're talking about, Jay Wiley.
Who? What?
What happened to the funny comedy that tuned
Comedian.
the cars?
He's probably talking about Alex.
Yeah, he works for lunch. Indy Stotts, I just had it rebuilt to handle more power. I also changed to a Gen 2 short block. Make sure you do a crank relearn. Daniel Sinclair, Gen 3R for the win. So Daniel put a Gen 3R on his 15 to 17 F-150. He previously had the Roush blower on it.
Mm-hmm.
It went faster.
Yeah.
Same boost.
Yeah.
So he was happy.
That's how that works.
Yep. Race car blower. And then Dalton's thing. And then we got.
I'll tell you the story on that one.
Currently, the belt slip guy. What's up, guys? Hi, guys. All right.
Ariel. What's up, guys?
And then Daniel Sinclair. What's up, guys? Awesome. Going back to YouTube now. Hip hopping, bebopping.
We're done there.
What is the sketchiest car you've ever seen?
Hellcat Miata.
Quick,
Done deal. Hellcat Miata.
Yep. That's up there for me too. I don't think I saw any of that one.
Yeah, Hellcat Miata. That was like one of the few cars that I was like, I'm not driving this car.
Not do this.
I am not driving that car. You are nope. No. Here, you drive it.
Global Media Inc. TX2K20 is going to be awesome. Those Kong ported and Joker's performance cars are going to make it interesting. Great shop and info at DMP. Thanks, Global Media. I don't know your name. I just know your YouTube thing. So sorry, I don't know your name. What time is it? 2:19. Did we actually start on time this week?
Well, we had a whole bunch of technical difficulties too.
So we've been going for 20 minutes, 6 seconds. So we got 10 more minutes left. Guess get your questions in, guys. If you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe.
Do that first.
Dan Van Horn, Matt, you ready to tune more Gen 3 turbo?
My buddy Dan.
I found him.
He's currently getting his roof glued on.
Oh, sad.
No, not sad.
Is it good roof glued on?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good roof glued on.
Carbon roof?
Yeah. And he just messaged me. He's like, my Mensker shock should be there. And I was like, my Menskers. And I put a picture of Debo.
These are my Mensers now.
Dan's a good dude.
So.
You didn't go to
guys-
PRI, did
Have any
you?
of you guys used one of these yet, Draggy? Let us
I haven't
know in the
used mine
comments
yet.
if you've used one yet.
I'm gonna break my car or my truck, all in the name of science.
Yes, we need it for the gram.
We do need it for the gram. I'm gonna drive over my axles.
That's how you remove axles from an 8.8 by driving
Yeah.
over them?
It's not an 8.8, it's like some kind of crazy Super
Nah,
Duper. And
I know it's not an 8.8.
oh, I don't know what the hell's in the front. It's some kind of Dana thing in the front, I think.
Before we end, can I try something real quick?
Yeah,
You can do whatever you want.
you can have whatever
You can
like.
have whatever you. And she's.
Dad,
He's hitting my butt.
don't break my butt.
Don't break my butt.
How many you get
I'm
that?
curious if people can hear Joe better now.
Can you hear me now?
You go better now.
Can you hear me now? Mic check. 1, 2.
This is a good mind.
Mic check. Nothing else. So
Carrie has to ask you this question because Brian's not here to ask us this question.
yeah, it's Carrie's turn to ask a question.
Carrie, you gotta ask us something about the car community you wanna know.
But now you're quiet,
Oh my god.
which is unusual because you're never quiet.
That's right.
Nope.
Well, actually, I should be equal now then. I'm a loud
Bomb,
person.
bomb. So we'll go bomb. Slab Shack. Since I can't afford a 2020 GT500, how are the monoblades coming? Monoblades are done, have been done for a while.
Ben,
Had done, been done.
Joe, I feel like you and I, we could be on a sinking ship together. We'd still be having fun.
Yeah, that's how it works. And then Global Media Inc. Last question.
Come at
Fire
us.
away.
Do it.
Shoot.
I'm so jealous of you working with my broken ass leg.
I don't understand. It takes no leg. Is it just the knee bend?
Yeah, it
You
won't-
can't bend the knee?
I can't clear this thing. Oh, I can do this.
Bend the knee, Matt.
Damn it. Didn't work. I'm dying.
What's your go-to ECU standalone? Matt's
Holly.
is definitely Holly EFI. Yeah, just let me, wait a minute. Let me just, oh, yeah.
Yeah, Holly.
I haven't played with really any of them. I hear good things about Link and Motec, and
Okay. AEM's fine too.
yeah, I
Honestly,
don't.
they all do the same damn thing. To me, it's about ease of use. Holly is easy for me.
Stu Boyce, what came of your research into rev match tuning in pre-2019 cars? I haven't tried.
Why?
Because I like to think people can still drive their cars without rev matching. No? Okay. We'll have to fix that then.
Do you pay attention to the elections?
Yeah. Meh. Let's put it this way, I don't have cable TV.
I don't know what else. I got nothing. I asked you a question. I asked you a question the other day. Oh, we learned about MBT on trucks yesterday.
Oh God, weird shit. I ain't even getting into that with these people. I'll just go right over all their heads. No offense, guys. Yeah, Ponies and the Smokies is coming up. That was when our mics were acting up though. So
Is that next weekend?
If people want installation and tuning,
yeah, installation, tuning. If you just want to be put on the dyno to see what power your car is making, we can do that too.
If you go up,
Hit up sales support, get it on the schedule. We do not like doing walk-ups. We like planning for stuff, and if you want to make sure we have the stuff that you want to put on your car there, and you want to make sure there's actually a time slot allowed for you, then get an appointment, the stuff books up, and if you roll up and you're like, yo, I want some parts installed. Hey,
can you install this engine for me?
yeah, get to the back of the line behind all the people that paid to have appointments set up for all this.
But if you go there and you find Mike and you stroke his beard, he'll
Yes.
give you like 10% off.
oh,
Don't do that. You'll get 10 fingers of a whole bunch of pissed off is what you'll get.
yeah.
I'm just gonna try and get somebody slapped. All right, you're ruining my fun.
And then
Like,
5
if
liter.
You don't warn them too. You just...
Yeah, don't.
5 liter meat beater, is the nitrous outlet plate for the Cobra Jet worth it, or will plumbing jets to the cold air be good enough?
I don't think it really matters.
I don't think so either. I think that,
We've been putting it in the plenum a long time.
yeah, and I think if at the end of the day you're not wanting to have a cold air or not wanting to have an intake that's directly drilled for nitrous and therefore always going to be drilled for nitrous, then it's a good idea to get a plate kit. It's easy to remove and install a plate kit and make no other changes.
Yeah.
But
It's also easy to drill a little 1/8" MBT hole in an intake.
And just throw an 1/8" plug in when you're done.
Yeah. So yeah, it pretty much comes down to it. Do you get overall? You get a better distribution? I don't know if it matters,
Mhm.
especially on smaller jet sizes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put 400, try and put 400 through a nozzle,
Yeah.
but a plate, yeah, why not? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
All right, we've got Robert Rainey, 2018 F-150 Edelbrock 2650 N85 stock oil pump gears. Thoughts?
send it.
Yeah, send it. I mean, there's guys that have issues with stock oil pump gears. If you want to be one of the guys that doesn't, put aftermarket oil pump gears in.
Buy them from us.
We
We'll sell
posted
you
a
oil
video
pump
of my opinion on oil pump gears not too long ago. You might want to watch that.
We will sell you oil pump gears though.
Yeah. Draggy. No one said if they've used a Draggy before. It's so much fun.
They're a lot of fun.
Chad Dowd, what's your 60-foot time on the street?
What was your 60 foot?
In the Vic?
In the Vic.
Hold up.
He said, hold up. Check this.
Let me pull it up real quick. Get that pull up.
Is it because it's so amazing I'm not going to believe it and you want to show it to me?
No, I just can't remember if it's a 2.6 or a 2.4.
I'm going to go with 2.6.
It was terrible. Quarter mile.
Got 476,000 pound line.
2.54 on one of them I did. And 2.65 on another. One of them I launched really hard, and then I saw some people that may not like me speeding in the other lane, and I decided to slow down.
But if you already had a start on them.
2.54 is my best 60-foot so far.
2.54.
Yep, and my 4,100 pound without me in it beast.
I don't hate it.
No. Really, Todd's in Australia.
Oh,
Yeah.
right code.
Yeah, and well, he actually lives, I think, 8 hours away from Coates in Australia. Something ridiculous like that.
If you're in
Australia is a
Australia,
small
listen,
island.
Everyone in Australia knows everyone. That's how that works, don't you? Haven't you seen Personality? They all go to the
Chris
same
Bauman.
bar.
Matt was slapping.
I know. I was going to say, he's not in the States, so he can't do anything, but that's actually not true. He's going to be at TXTK.
So Chris Bauman, if you're running E85, you already need different injectors. As far as the BMP fuel kit goes, that should be enough fuel for you if you're talking about our twin pump setup. You'll want to be, wait, what pulley were you going to run? Let me scroll back up here. Run a 75 or 72 millimeter pulley on a 6 rib, no issues, a belt slip. So if you're talking about the 2300 blower that comes in the Roush kit still, you should be able to run those no problem with the right size injector with that fuel system. Todd O'Leary, yep, way too early. Hi guys. way too early, Todd.
It's what, so it's what, 4?
Todd, you got to bring the car to Texas 2K next year.
Is it like 4 in the morning over there where he's at, approximately?
I don't know which part of Australia Todd's in, but let's just see what it is in Matt's part of Australia. Brisbane. It's 4:29
I was
a.m.
close.
Yep.
I was close.
And
I
that's-
said 4, I think it's
That's
4.
the east coast off Australia. So if Todd's further west,
It's earlier.
yeah,
So maybe I was,
I don't know.
it's like 2 in the morning over there.
Yeah, maybe.
He's just going to bed.
Maybe it's really late.
Yeah, so
maybe he
he's
woke
just
up.
not going to bed.
He's in Sydney, so he should be good. I want to say Sydney's east coast still.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
still only 4:30 a.m. there.
It's them damn kookaburras, man.
Yep, keeping you up in the middle of the night, just like the chupacabra here in Mexico.
Well, we went to the zoo,
Mm-hmm.
and the San Jose had these kookaburras, and I was talking to Coates, and I was like, oh, look, we have this whole big exhibit on them, and he's like, we shoot the bastards, we hate them.
God. Texas
So-
2K sounds good.
He sent me a video of him, like 4, pitch dark in his yard, and it's like, you see this?
I hate this. That's classic. And with that, I think it's time, guys.
No,
I think it's time.
no, don't take
You
them
signed
away
on
from
too
me,
late,
Joe.
Todd.
No, come back to me.
Are we ready to?
Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, we're on 50 minutes on the stream. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, we done then. Bye, guys.
Love you long time.
Check us out at Texas. Hit us up for Ponies in the Smokies. There's a couple other events coming up that we're traveling around the country to do. So if you want to get
Carlisle's
installs
coming up
done,
in April, too.
Exactly. So if you want to get some parts installed, some dynos done, or just some dyno tunes, hit us up. Get it on the schedule.
Facts.